With the Christmas season around the corner, a group of volunteers from the Brashear NHS went to ring bells at Hy-Vee for the Salvation Army. The NHS has done this in the past and try to do it each year.
On Tuesday, we had a guest speaker from Robert Morris University, and we had a presentation that taught us how to not ruin our image, not putting bad pictures up on our web pages or rude comments on someone else's page. Also, how colleges and universities look at our networking pages, and they can deny you from their college or university. Also, how in 9 months social networking got around and how many people now have social networking pages.
Last Thursday night, the Brashear Lady Tigers faced off against the Scotland County Lady Tigers in a championship semifinals game. The top-seeded Scotland County girls had an 11-5 lead after the first quarter and scored 18 points in the second quarter to take a 29-10 lead into halftime. Scotland County extended their lead to 46-19 after 3 quarters and won by a margin of 56-23. For Brashear, Meredith Thomas scored 6 points, Stephanie Elsie and Abby McKim had 5 each, Miranda Creason, Katie Smith, and Sydney Slavin scored 2 points each. Shelby Salter scored 1 point. Last Friday night, the Brashear boys and girls both returned back to Novinger to play their final games in the tournament. The Brashear boys faced Milan for the consolation game. Brashear got off to a good start with a score of 14-10 after the first quarter, but fell short at halftime with a score of 24-21. The boys couldn't keep up with Milan in the second half and were down 38-24 after the third quarter. Milan went home with the win and the consolation trophy with a score of 56-37. For Brashear, Taryn Treasure led the scoring with 8 points, Nick Thomas had 7 points, Dylan Redding and Adam Songer added 6 points, Jay Scudder had 4, and Zach Reeves, Cody Snelling added 3 points.
Last Friday night, the Brashear Lady Tigers faced Milan for the third place game. In the first quarter, Milan led 12-9. Going into halftime, Milan kept the lead at 27-18. In the third quarter, the Lady Tigers outscored the Wildcats 15-14. In the fourth quarter, the Lady Tigers tied up the score at 54. Going into overtime, Milan got on the scoreboard first, scoring 56-54. But the Lady Tigers answered back to tie it back up at 56. The Tigers managed to take the lead 57-56. The Wildcats answered back with 2 more points for the win, with the score of 58-57. For Brashear, Meredith Thomas led the Tigers with 24 points, Abby McKim led 10, Shelby Salter and Sydney Slavin had 9, Stephanie Elsie had 3, and Katie Smith had 1 point.
The Linn County Mustangs visited Brashear Tuesday night for a Tri-County Conference basketball doubleheader. The Brashear Lady Tigers started the game with an 18-1 run and led Linn County 18-5 at the end of the first quarter. Linn County recovered their composure in the second quarter and matched Brashear's scoring, leaving the Brashear lead at 26-13 at halftime. Brashear outscored Linn County again in the second half, extending their lead to 36-20 after 3 quarters and winning by a score of 49-29. Stephanie Elsie and Meredith Thomas led the Brashear attack with 11 points each. Shelby Salter and Sydney Slavin each had 8, Abby McKim had 6, Olivia Thompson had 3, and Katie Smith scored 2 points. In the boys' game, it was Linn County that did the early damage, starting out with a 10-2 run and finishing the first quarter with a 17-9 lead. The host Tigers pulled within 30-27 at halftime, and the game was tied 36-36 after 3 quarters of play. Linn County scored their only bucket of the fourth quarter 10 seconds into the quarter, and Brashear was forced to play catch-up the rest of the way. Linn County used 12 out of the 13 free throws to maintain their lead, and led 44-40 when Jay Scudder scored to pull the Tigers within 2. Cody Snelling's three-pointer with 17 seconds left pulled Brashear within 1 at 47-48, but a foul put Linn County on the line for another pair of free throws to lead 50-47. Brashear got the ball down the court, but Nick Thomas's last 3-point shot missed the mark, and Linn County held on for the 50-47 win. Hayden Hausman and Cody Snelling each scored 10 points for Brashear. Nick Thomas chipped in 9, Zach Reeves added 7, Jay Scudder had 5, and Dylan Redding, Adam Songer, and Taryn Treasure scored 2 points each.